Fans, we are back live with another edition of the Shooting from the Hip podcast on thehannibaltv.com. My name is Jack Kilby, Executive Vice President of Great North Wrestling, and joining me as always to discuss a comparison between the Bloodline faction and the NWO, I have, as always, the one, the only, the king of the streets, Kingpin Medina.
What's up? What's up, everyone? It's funny, man. We haven't done a show in a while because you were on this massive hiatus for like 3 to 4 weeks, living that white privilege lifestyle. So now that you're back, now we can get back to the swing of things.
Well, I was actually in Mexico. Had the pleasure of taking in a huge event at the Arena Mexico for CMLL, and also to scout some prospective luchador talent down there. I must admit, I grew up not really a fan of lucha libre, but as I've gotten older and my tastes have developed, had a serious appreciation developed for the that particular style and some of the great workers that they have down there now. Do you know a lot about lucha?
Oh man, absolutely, man. I mean, I wrestled like Super Crazy. I wrestled the Psychosis. So I'm pretty familiar with the lucha. Great talent. Great aerial work. I mean, you can't knock it. I like the lucha for era times. Like I remember when Art Barr and Eddie Guerrero did the American gimmick, and that was pretty hot.
Los Gringos Locos.
Like Gringos Locos, and it was at Worlds Collide. It was pay-per-view.
WCW pay-per-view with AAA, I think it was. Yeah.
It was AAA. Louis Piccoli was Madonna's boyfriend. It's hard to remember because it's been such a long time, but those are the things I remember. But that was it's just an awesome show. So yeah, absolutely. Luchadors, man, just very high flyers, man. God bless them.
Well, we still we had a couple of scheduling hiccups last year, and we were going to bring in a man that you're very familiar with, the insane luchador Super Crazy, to Great North Wrestling. That will still happen possibly this season. Did you have an opportunity to share a ring with Crazy in ECW?
We wrestled. We never really wrestled in ECW. We wrestled in Puerto Rico. So we did when I had the hardcore title in Puerto Rico and IWA, we had a couple matches, and it was just like 5-star matches and stuff. He's a great guy, great worker. Still does all the crazy shit. I mean, he's 40, I think 49, 48. And he's still doing that crazy shit. Me, I'm just trying to stay a little more grounded, but he's just still being super crazy. His daughter's even wrestling as Super Crazy as well.
Yes, not El Hijo, but Super Crazy is in her name. Anyway, I was greatly impressed with Mexico City, Arena Mexico, and took a little sojourn down to Playa del Carmen, Cozumel as well. Mexico is a very, very nice country to visit, and not closing the door on looking at a talent exchange. Who knows? I've talked about even running a show down there. The future could bring many things, but back to the here and now. Wanted to get your impression of a couple of news items, and I know it's been a while, and it seems like a lot has occurred in the last month or so, but a couple of the big ones being Ric Flair and the video that was released of him at the pizza place and all that assorted silliness that took place. What are your thoughts on him carrying on like that as a old man?
Well, I mean, you already discussed this when we're off the air, and I mean, it's Ric Flair. I mean, he's at a point in his life where he knows. I'm not saying he's at the tail end, but I mean, he realized he had a near-death experience, and now he's realizing that every day could be his last, technically. So he's enjoying life. So, I mean, would I have stopped drinking after that little incident? Absolutely. Even though I don't really drink. But, yeah, that definitely would have done a 360 in my world to stop the alcohol. But, I mean, he's just being Ric Flair and enjoying. I think he just took it to, to the next level because, like I said, he's enjoying life, smoking the weed, drinking the liquor, and he's just he don't give a fuck. So if he cuts a promo in a fucking pizzeria, it's Ric Flair cutting a promo in a pizzeria. And because even the guys, even I saw a quick glance of the owners, like, we love Ric Flair, but he's, like, still they love Ric Flair, but was acting a little silly. They were still downplaying it a little bit, even when he was acting ridiculous. So, can't do nothing about it, man. What are you gonna do?
Well, I think it's I think you're absolutely right. He is Ric Flair. He is a legend amongst partiers, et cetera, et cetera. I just thought he could have, or whoever was with him, be it Wendy or whatever, could have said, let's go here, because he got quite insulting with the staff on at least one. One of the managers that he was calling names and whatever. And I was kind of wondering, having been a bouncer myself, when they were going to interject and pull him out. But it's not 1984 anymore, and there's always someone with a camera and a video camera in their pocket. So kind of sad that he's I don't want to say tarnishing his wrestling legacy, because he was a hero to me growing up. I love the Horsemen, love the NWA, and I've learned to separate the character from the man, and the man doesn't appear to be much of a role model.
Yeah, and I think he doesn't really care as right now, because, like I said, he's just living his life to the fullest. So, I mean, what can you do, man? I mean, it's sad, yeah. I mean, but he's just not gonna stop doing what he's doing. Like I said, he's gonna go out in a blaze of glory.
Well, speaking of people with issues, Tammy Sitch, Sunny, made the news again just this week, when she claimed that she is experiencing blood clots in her leg or legs from her period of incarceration, and not getting proper medical treatment. So that doesn't sound like an ideal situation at all. What do you think of that situation?
I really think she's just trying to get the sympathy on that, because I mean, I worked in the correctional facility, not for like your extension, but but if somebody's sick, they have to take care of them. And you even said the reason you get blood clots is because you're not being active, you're not moving around, you're just sitting down watching TV. So yeah, I mean, that's shit. She could stay in her cell, and what if she is in a cell, and do Hindu squats, and that'll probably help her out. I mean, you just got to keep moving. If you're just laying down and watching TV and going to the break room, whatever you call it, community room, and they sit there and watch TV, and play fucking spades sitting down, and you're doing everything sitting down, then yeah, you're gonna get blood clot.
Yeah, and she's put on from what the reports would have it, even more weight since coming inside, which is not atypical either when you're having your Mr. Noodles and your chocolate bars, etc. So maybe that's got a lot to do with it as well. I can't speak really of the correctional system in the States, but I know in Canada federally, their healthcare is a major budgetary driver, and inmates that have complain of issues, they're dealt with. So maybe she's just trying to cash in as well, or somehow keep her name in the news, right?
That I don't know, man. What I mean, she's gonna be there for quite a while. I mean, I don't know what she's gonna. Yeah. I mean, how many years? I forgot. 17?
I think she got 15, 16 in around there.
So I mean, if you think about it, if you do sue, and again, I'm just speculating here. I'm just thinking of an angle, meaning, shit, fuck it. If I'm still alive in 15 years, I need some money. I need something. When I come out, because I won't be able to. In 15 years, the economy will change, technology will change, I'll be out of the loop, I'll be institutionalized basically. So I have to have some type of financial money to hold me over while I get out. So yeah, I can see that angle. Like, yeah, I got to start thinking about it now and start suing the fuck out of everybody. Because by the time you sue them, like you put a lawsuit and all this bull crap, you know how long that takes. So it might take 4 years, it might take 5 years, it might take 10 years, but still, she'll still be in jail. So she doesn't have nothing but time to try to make this work, So Again, I'm just assuming, but that's just the way I would do it. Hey, I got nothing to lose, so to give it a shot.
Well, let's hope she gets the treatment that she needs, if indeed experiencing that. And
Hey, I don't mean to. We'll go back to that real quick, but I just had some breaking news.
I bet I know
That
what this is.
no, man. I mean, this event that's coming up is really big, and I know Big Daddy Oreo is really just busting his ass. So it just came up on my phone. I needed to bring it up because I know I was going to forget, but he's really hitting the gym real hard. He's really working out. So I just wanted to show the fans out there that Big Daddy Oreo is definitely hitting it. So again, this is a news, breaking news, so just wanted to let the fans know, but hey, please continue.
Well, I was actually, of course, going to talk about June 29th and the GNW Napanee Schools Out Slam, especially. Oh, there you go. I got to give you credit. You always find a new place to trip me up, but absolutely, we're getting closer to that huge event at the Strathcona Paper Center in Napanee, Ontario, and you are in one of the two co-main events in which you're putting up your hardcore road trip heavyweight title against Big Daddy Derek Roy. But I wanted to ask you a question, since you got the jokes and you've been sending me pictures of Oreos on the daily.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, generally, I think you're really taking Big Daddy Roy lightly. Did you happen to see the match that we posted on the Hannibal TV between Mr. Roy at Renfrew Reckoning?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I needed something to put me to sleep. So I put that on my TV while I was laying in bed, and man, that's better than any type of sleep aid that you could use to get yourself some snoozing. That guy was just sad. So hopefully he's taking this match very seriously, really hitting it up. I don't know, man. It was just a travesty watching that match.
Well, I will say this. I think you're ribbing right now, and I think with all the Oreo pictures and all your comments, I think you really are afraid of losing that title here. Am I right? Am I coming close to the truth here?
No, you're not even coming. You're not even getting close to the truth, because the fact is that Big Daddy Oreo thinks that he's trying to. He's trying to be the Jake Paul of professional wrestling. He thinks because he's a little bit younger that he's going to going to walk all over me. And that's the thing that he needs to realize. I think he's a great talent. But he's never beat anybody in my caliber. He's never been in any type of situation where he was tested. Besides the buffet line, yeah, but not in an actual ring. The fact is that Big Daddy Oreo needs to know that once he gets in the ring, he is going to experience a world of pain, and I'm talking pain in capital letters. So I just hope that I suggest that he will pull out, be gracious, and say, hey, I think I went over my head. I think I really took a big bite of something that I can't chew on, and I'm just gonna step back because the king of the streets is just way beyond my fucking pay grade. And I think he should just stay in the mid card, the curtain jerking, maybe greet fans when they come in, be the comedy relief for the company, and just play it safe. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that I'm going to be watching that match with extreme interest, given our longstanding friendship. And I do want you to succeed, Kingpin, and I do wish you the best. But I think even deep down inside, that you're probably not going to be able to handle the strength, the size, and the agility. That's the other thing about Big Daddy Roy. The man is agile. He reminds me, I've said this before and you poo-pooed it before, but he reminds me of a young Bam Bam Bigelow in the way that he puts stuff together in the ring. And I think that you're probably gonna be embarrassed up here.
I agree with you. I mean, if Bam Bam Bigelow didn't work out and didn't do the things he did, yeah, that's what Bam Bam Bigelow would have looked like. But the thing is that Big Daddy Oreo has to understand that he is not ready, and he's just going to realize that once he steps in that ring, he's going to be like, It's like that scene when Mike Tyson, the guy's swaying and Mike Tyson just keeps looking at him. And then once the guy looked down, Mike Tyson realized he knew he had him. Because once you take your eyes off Mike Tyson, he knew that he struck fear in you. And, I just know Big Daddy is just quaking in his boots. And like I said, I believe he's agile, but that is not going to help him. So you could pump him up all you want, and you're really not doing him any type of justice, because the more you pump him up, the more the beating he's going to get. So, I mean, I appreciate it. He's going to look up and realize, and I don't know, I'm going to hit him so hard, he's going to speak French. And I'm going to be like, what the fuck do you say? Because he's just like, he's going to lose the word of the American, the English language, because of the beating that I give him.
Well,
another thing, a lot of fans are reaching out to me from people from Canada, from the United States. They already have a pool, and they already have columns and everything of at what point will Big Daddy Oreo get a heart attack? Would it be in 10 minutes in the match, 5 minutes in the match? People are already putting money on it that he's going to have a stroke once he gets in that ring.
Well, I'm not going to comment on that. I'm just going to leave it up to the fate to decide how the match goes. But I do absolutely think I stick by my earlier sentiment that you're taking this match too lightly. But let's talk about a couple of the other huge items that have developed around the card. Number one being Mario Mancini and Pretty Paul Roma, legend from the World Wrestling Federation and WCW. They're going to be on the show. They're going to be, Mario's going to be having his last match ever there in Napanee on June 29th. And we just announced this week that we're having a fan Q&A for Paul and Mario at the Buckle in Kingston, Ontario on
I'm
the
not
29th.
invited?
Pardon me?
I'm not invited?
No, you're not invited.
No blacks. I get it.
I should know better. I really should know better by now. Anyway, June 29th at 4 p.m. at the Buckle in Kingston, Ontario. All that information will be on the website. It will be at an exclusive fan Q&A period. And Paul will be there to support Mario in his last match ever. We have ladies action on the card featuring quite a talent from WOW and several independent promotions in the United States getting a real buzz about her. Her name's Nikki Duke. We will be putting some information about her on the website coming up. And several of the standout students from Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, the company owned by Paul and Mario, the school, they're coming up to participate. Really looking forward to that. The other co-main event is Rene Dupree, the two-time WWE Tag Team Champion. He will be in action against the newest member, and boy, am I excited about this one, of the big money players at 6'4" and over 300 pounds. Agile strength, a former 0-1 Japan wrestler. The man, I like to call him the monster of the Midway, but he is known as the Prodigy, Nathan Banner. He is going to take care of Rene Dupree for me once and for all. The fans that have watched the Hannibal TV are aware that he viciously hit me in the head unprovoked with my briefcase, concussed me in November. And the stipulation is that he has to get by Mr. Banner in order to receive a future title shot for the Canadian title. And you know what? This could be the last time that we see Rene Dupree in Great North Wrestling or wrestling period for good. And it would be a shame because he's having a career renaissance with his podcast, Cafe de Rene, and all the circuits he's tearing up in the United States. But as I've said recently, you don't cross the boss, and I had no choice but to bring in an insurance policy in the Prodigy, Nathan Banner, to take care of this problem once and for all. What do you think of that, Kingpin?
Well, I don't know, man, but right now I'm just feeling that you need the smallest violin playing for you, bro, because Dupree just whooped that ass, and now your feelings are hurt. Just play that world's smallest violin.
I wouldn't say that. I would say it's a sense of sportsmanship and good play was violated by Renee. He thinks he can. Is that a crying towel?
Yeah.
I feel you. He thinks he can do whatever he wants, and we're going to prove once and for all that there are rules in GNW. There is authority in GNW. You're looking at it, and you put your hands on me, you're not going to have a very good time. But I would be remiss without mentioning one other huge attraction on this show.
Wait, before you do the huge attraction, I wanted to mention, you know that picture of Mario Mancini right there?
Yes.
Doesn't it look like the Roddy Piper?
No.
Yes.
Does not look like Frankie Williams. No.
Yeah, you do. Anyway, continue. This is what you get when you take 3 weeks off vacation. You're getting everything like a concentrated version of me today.
All at once, eh? Well, I guess you have a point there, but no, not Frankie Williams. But I bet you they were in the WWF at the same time. But I want to highlight the fact that the Schools Out Slam will see the return of Devin the Hannibal Blood Hunter at the card. He is making his return to the ring since the first time since May 6th at our 15th anniversary show in Ottawa last year. So he's training hard. I was with him this week. We went over some business. He's looking incredible in the gym. He's going to be back in action, and this is going to be the start of another great run for the Blood Hunter Devin Hannibal Nicholson.
And you know what's funny about the Blood Hunter? I'll be honest, man. I've seen some footage just recently, him training. And, you know, when people say like, oh, he's been training and he's really taking it serious. But when you see it actually on screen of him at the gym hanging and banging, I'm really impressed, you know, because he did a 360. So I feel bad for anybody that's going to get in the ring with him. I mean, besides me, and once he gets in the ring with me, it's a different story. But I'm seriously, I'm giving him credit. And this guy is just really taking it serious. So him coming back now, whoever he faces, I mean, I feel bad for them.
Well, I have in fact signed an opponent for the Blood Hunter Hannibal, and I'm going to be revealing that in the next couple of weeks, along with the card itself. But fans, go to challenging him. Pardon me.
So it looks like you're really going to test his grit, because you know, if it is a surprise, that means this is a high caliber talent, that it's going to be an extraordinary match.
It's going to be a challenge for him for sure. It's going to be a test, but it's also going to be one hell of a match. If you haven't already, fans, go to ticketweb.ca and get your tickets in advance. We're doing all floor seating for this event, so it's going to be, there's not going to be a bad seat in the house, and you're going to want to be there because it's the first time since 2017 that GNW came back to Napanee, and this area is, I know there's some other lower caliber wrestling organizations in the area, but this is the first time that quality professional wrestling is returning to Napanee. And I will also have tickets this week. I just got the actual hard copy tickets. They will be at the Strathcona Paper Center this week, so you can pick them up either way. I just, before we head to the Bloodline, I want to mention to thank our sponsors. That would be, again, the Buckle in Kingston, Ontario, Universal Plumbing and Sewer Services, and the man who is helping co-promote this event, Jeff Hoover of Who's Hit Record. So it's going to be the wrestling event of the year here.
Who's the first sponsor? Universal what?
Universal Plumbing and Sewer Services.
How'd you get them? Did they realize that Big Daddy Oreos are shits, and they figured that would be a definitely good cross promotion?
Oh man. I don't even know what to say about that.
I'm gonna be like Duke the Dumpster's Drosy. I'm gonna clean up that motherfucker, you know. I'm gonna flush him down the toilet.
All I've got to say, Kingpin, is it's a good thing that we have free medical care up here, because
good. He needs it. Who need it?
You could need it. So anyway, we're going to be keeping the fans up to date with all the developments for the show as the weeks move on. And I'll just mention very briefly The next Great North Wrestling show for this season will be August 31st in Petawawa, Ontario, and we have signed the WWE legend Warlord to be in action and appear there. So tickets are on sale for that as well already. So it's gonna be a great season, another great season in the new era of GNW and the restart. And you must be excited to be a part of it and get back to Canada here. We're going to do that poutine review too.
Damn, we're gonna do the poutine review. I'm gonna get. Well, it's not the cup, but I want to give me a Tim Hortons coffee. You know, you better have enough gas because I'm gonna be like, hey, can we go here? Can we go there?
What kind of gas are you referring to? Like petrol or the other stuff?
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys call it petrol. Yeah. I was like, what the hell? You know.
Well, again, the good news is, yes, we have a lot of gas, but the hospital in Napanee is a mere 10 minutes from the arena. So I might be taking you there after
to see Big Daddy Roy just to put some. It's gonna be like the part where Rocky 2 when Rocky rolls into the witcher. Hey Apollo, we're gonna do this again, and he's like, oh no, Kingpin. I'm too beat up. I'm done. And then that's it, and then I'll put the pillow over his face and then take him out, mercy killing, like I said.
Wow.
Hey, are there going to be children there?
Yes.
Well, you better tell Big Daddy Orange to at least wear his singlet up because in that picture he has it down and all those babies are going to be like, want to breastfeed with those big old titties. So I think you need to tell him he needs to keep those straps up.
Wow. Okay. Well, again, fans, those tickets for both events are on sale at ticketweb.ca. But today's topic, Kingpin, is one that actually organically came together because I recently interviewed Marcus Buff Bagwell for the Hannibal TV. Search that up if you haven't seen that interview. Great interview. And I mentioned to him that there's been talk online about a comparison between what is without a doubt the most successful faction of all time, and that would be the NWO, and the Bloodline being the most successful faction of recent times. So I thought it would be good to do a little comparison of the two. What are your thoughts first and foremost about the NWO before I get your general thoughts on the Bloodline?
Well, I mean, the NWO, like you said, is the greatest stable of all time. I was not there, but when it happened on TV, Hogan turning and the New World Organization, brother, and Mean Gene. I got a shitload of fucking lawyers on my retainer and stuff, but it was great, man. I mean, I just think the only thing that I was really like not disgusted is not the right word. It was just like I just didn't like the red and black and all the NWO. I loved it in the beginning. I really enjoyed the New World Order at the beginning, and then when they started having all these members come in, and then they split off into the red and black, it was just too much. I think they were just trying to hold on to something for that time. But again, I love the NWO.
How do you feel about the Bloodline storyline in terms of its inception as well? And we'll talk in a little bit about how it seems to be following a similar trajectory as the NWO. What did you think when this first started to get attention about 2 years ago ish?
Well, the Bloodline angle is awesome. I loved when they did the Sami Zayn thing. I loved, everything that they were doing. It was great. I just think you're right. Like now this little storyline of, Solo and stuff is falling into that, the NWO, because if you look at it, one time he was wearing a red tie and the black. And I'm just like, it reminded me of, the red and black. And I just think they could have spun it a little bit differently just so they won't be compared to the NWO split. They could have done something, they could have done like brought in the Tonga and all the other people in, and then at a certain point they kick Roman Reigns out, and then he gets back with Jimmy and Jay and all that stuff to fight them. It just gives it a little bit of a more of a different spin. But what they're doing now, I'm not knocking it. It just reminds me of of the NWO, of what happened. So that's the only thing that I noticed that I'm not liking about it.
Yeah, they added Tama Tonga, and
Which is
rumors are
great.
that, yeah, I mean, incredible wrestler, amazing. And rumors are that Jacob Fatu, who
Great guy.
signed with the company, whom you've met and know well, I take it.
I mean, I don't know him well, but his first impression that I met at the Philadelphia, I mean, it's just a great guy. I mean, funny, just really down to earth, hell of a talent. I have nothing but respect for the guy. But again, we were just having a good time. And like I said, it was only a brief conversation, but it's always about first impression. And he really he stood out. So nice guy.
He's going to be eventually integrated into the storyline. Do you think that the moving away from the original core group, and Reigns, I guess, is going to be, I guess, part-time at best, may make an appearance for SummerSlam. Do you think it's a mistake for them to be expanding membership as well and moving away from the core, or is it a necessity with the status of Roman Reigns? That's the $1 million question, I guess.
I don't know, man. I'm still trying to just bring it in, trying to just trying to marinate on it, because like I said, I'm not knocking Solo. I just don't think he has. I mean, he's still green, and I just don't, because look at Roman Reigns when he first started. He was the drizzling shits, and no matter what angle they try to push him, this is my yard, and everybody was shitting on him, and they just kept giving him. They kept revamping him until he finally found something that clicked. So it's the same thing with Solo. Like, I watched a couple of skits and stuff, and Paul Heyman's carrying him on, but I just think that he's just missing something that he's able to grasp the attention of an audience. So he's just really just kind of riding on fumes from the actual bloodline to get him over, and I just don't see him getting over yet.
I've heard some people online anyway, and albeit they're not the majority because of his Hall of Fame induction this year, but some people are getting a little bit, or they're critiquing Heyman's act now as being a little stale as that mouthpiece role. How would you, two-part question, do you agree with that, and how would you compare his role to the similar one that Bischoff had in the NWO as the mouthpiece, or one of the mouthpieces, when he turned and became?
Well, first of all, you cannot compare Bischoff to Paul Heyman. That is like comparing caviar to fucking boba tea. It's just the boba and the tea. I mean, it's just totally opposite, because Paul Heyman is just the way he talks, the way he acts, the way he pushes you, the way he promotes you. He just puts you over big time, that people just believe it, and they drink it. They drink that Kool-Aid. When Eric Bischoff talked, it was more for Eric Bischoff's benefit. That's doing all that bullshit and all that stuff. And I'm not knocking him. I'm just going off from watching it in my perspective. It was more for his benefit. Paul does it for the whole group's benefit. So that's why he was getting, Roman Reigns over. But I don't know. Maybe he's watering it down because, he's playing the scared role and stuff like that. But, I mean, he's still doing a great job. I just think there's something behind it that's going to, blow up
Bigger than it has. Matthew's asking a question here, and I'm not sure if he's talking about, not sure who he's talking about here, but he's saying, I think this is the first time wrestlers turn face without showing up to work. Do you agree, guys? Has Reigns turned face?
Well, I think that's probably what's going to happen, especially the way he hugged Paul Heyman at the end at WrestleMania, and then now he's not been seen, and also Solo trying to portray like, I spoke to Roman and he told me to take charge of it, and then he did that hug and he gave that fucking snarty look. So they're looking like they're trying to push Roman as a baby face, so when he comes back, he tears down the bloodline. Now the next thing is just to tear down what he built.
Hmm. Do you think that'll be at SummerSlam when it's rumored to be Dwayne against Roman finally somehow? Or is that a Mania match, do you think? I think it's more a Mania match.
I think it'll be a more. Think about it like this. I think it'll be a more of a Mania match where if Roman makes an appearance at SummerSlams, I'm just thinking outside the box. Where he's going after the bloodline and all this bullshit and stuff like that. And then I could visually see them at Survivor Series type of angle, like the Usos, Jimmy J, Roman Reigns versus Solo, Tonga, whoever. Where would they mix it up as a Survivor Series gimmick? Then, now that he's face and he built up the baby face momentum, then I could see him wrestling The Rock, the final boss at WrestleMania, to pass on the torch, just like Hogan passed on the torch to The Rock at WrestleMania. So I could see that the way I could see it going that route.
Mm-hmm. This is a bit of a sidebar, but did you catch the stories online about Dwayne Johnson really pissing off people that he worked with in the film industry by being like 8-9 hours late, all that stuff?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was interesting. It kind of flew under the radar. A major publication, I can't remember which one, said that he had been late, like he's chronically late on set and disrespectful. And he and Vin Diesel had an issue over his lateness, and apparently Ryan Reynolds too.
Well, look, man, I mean, you can't always make everyone happy, and we don't know the story why he was late. There could be a reason. I mean, the guy is running on fumes. Not saying like he's tired all the time, but he's always moving and always running around. He got his Terramana, he got his Zoa, he got his skincare product, he got his, what's it, $5 productions or $2 $1 production, whatever it is, $7.
$7, yeah.
And like, I mean, the guy is moving around, and if he's late, and he's not going to please everyone. I mean, but every time I hear about The Rock, everybody's, oh, he should run for president. Oh, he's great. He's always caring about people. He just gave this family $50,000 for cancer treatment, I think it was. And I mean, the guy is doing everything he can. And just because one incident or two incidents that he's late, now all of a sudden he's like, oh, he's pissing people off. He's doing this. I mean, give the guy a break, man. I mean, he's doing the best he can. He's not a machine. He's not perfect. You just got to, if he's apologizing, then accept his apology and keep pushing forward.
Matthew is saying here, a Survivor Series War Games, the new Bloodline, Solo, Tonga Loa, and Fatu versus the OG Bloodline, Roman Reigns, Usos, and Honorary Us, Sami Zayn. That will be huge.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It will give it a, War Games in the steel cage, the Bloodline versus. Yeah, I mean, you're just building up that for Roman Reigns to be babyface. I mean, he's babyface, and he's just building him up, and then by the time WrestleMania comes, he's wrestling. You never know. Maybe The Rock will turn on Roman Reigns and join that faction, so they could build that heat, and then WrestleMania. So sometimes babyface versus babyface is just kind of iffy. But if The Rock turns on Roman Reigns, and if he was working an angle, because there was a thing that they said that The Rock did this one time. And that could lead to him joining, Solo and them to build that animosity between Roman and The Rock to, bring it into the WrestleMania. So, I mean, like I said, so many different angles you could do.
Yeah, and personally, I mean, I enjoyed his heel work here this last run up to and including Mania a lot. I think it would be a mistake to have him turn babyface. Roman Reigns would be best for that role, in my opinion. But either way, they've got some huge money to be made. One aspect that Bagwell brought out that separates the NWO from the Bloodline, and I'm not sure this is exactly a fair question because it's so many years ago as compared to now, but he mentioned that, and this is true, this, when the NWO was at its peak in the late 90s, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing an NWO shirt. You saw Wolfpack shirts. God knows I had a couple of them. But you also saw Stone Cold. You also saw Undertaker.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say.
So he's saying that, in terms of cultural zeitgeist and relevance, the Bloodline hasn't captured mainstream attention like the NWO did. But what are your you could argue that wrestling as an industry isn't as mainstream as it was when WCW was at its peak.
Well, yeah, everybody wears a 316 t-shirt. Everybody wears an NWO t-shirt. Everybody wears a Blue World Order t-shirt. It's just that has the Bloodline captured that lightning in a bottle like these factions? It's there, but it's not there. You know what I mean? But I don't think it will be, because, like I said, those two, like I said, those factions, they just caught it at the right time. And I'm not saying the Bloodline didn't catch it. It's just I don't see the Bloodline, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, t-shirts. Because remember, the NWO t-shirt was the red, the black and white, and everybody, I'll rock it. 316, Austin 316. I mean, you had the rattlesnake, you had all this shit, but everybody rocks that one shirt. BWO only has that one shirt, but it's the BWO. So they had so many Bloodline t-shirts, but you never notice in the audience that's like this one that always stood out. So I don't see it being a legendary shirt like the other ones.
But how many? I mean, not that I really pay that close attention, but I can't remember the last time walking out, say at a mall or downtown or wherever, that I saw anybody wearing a wrestling t-shirt. And my goodness, back in the day, it seemed to me that they were absolutely everywhere. So does that speaks more to how the industry isn't as I don't want to say over, because they're making a whole ton of money in the WWE, but it's not as commonplace or mainstream as it was then.
No, I agree. But like I said, the Bloodline. Oh, go ahead, read it. I want to.
Roland saying, no, wrestling has better camera effects and technology now, but it's nothing like it was. I still wear my Austin 316 and NWO shirts today. Well, good for you, sir. And be sure to look at a Big Money Player shirt too.
Well, bring that picture up again. I want to give you a little movie trivia. What movie is that? That picture he
Roland's,
has there.
Deal there?
No, right here. The little picture right there. The little picture of the two individuals. Who's that?
You got me. It's
what? Spit it out.
No, it's not who I thought it was. You got me.
Who'd you think it was? Say it before, you might be right.
I thought it may have been. It looked like Tupac with hair.
Yeah, there you go. That's Tupac with hair. Come on, man. Don't doubt yourself before you spit it out. The other guy is the fat dude from Stand By Me.
Oh, okay. What movie is that?
So I think that's the movie Juice.
Okay. Roger. Well,
yeah, but you're not from the hood. You're like into, the Dudley Do Right, or what's that when Hearts Call from the Hallmark about the Canadian.
I'm from the forest. Yes, it's a little bit of a different, but we
I'm
still
the Mountie.
Yep, we still had mean streets up here, but so suffice it to say that it's kind of, at least in terms of merchandising and mainstream appeal, it's kind of impossible to really compare the two, given the difference in time frames here, 25 years or more.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't think that the the Bloodline will have any type of t-shirts, that will be something like 10, 15 years from now. So, I mean, again, great faction. It doesn't fall into the Four Horsemen, or, like just that plain Four Horsemen t-shirt with the horse and, and stuff like that. Horseman, Macho Man with the glasses. I mean, there's so many iconic shirts. Piper's little fucking Black Panther gimmick,
But you know what? Another interesting point here, which you raise, is the fact that if you listen to or read Meltzer, he always points out that every generation thought that it was better back in the day, and it's some of the best in his opinion. I mean, now that we have 7 and 8 star matches, some of the best work is happening today, and would argue that those, and I fall into the old school category for sure, and I think it was 100% better back in the day. But he would point out that is always the way it is between generations. Do you think there's validity in that, or are we actually right with our view?
No, we're right with our view. I mean, I don't think there's any validity. I'm like tongue tied with that, but yeah, I just think what we saying is on point.
The other interesting piece when you're comparing the two, which Bagwell talked about as well, and he was like, no disrespect to the members of the Bloodline, but the core group of the NWO, Hogan, Nash, Hall, and when he put himself in that category as well. Those are some all-time greats, and Hogan, really a step above the other Bloodline members.
Look, Hogan, Nash, and Scott Hall will always be the main meat of the NWO. Buff Bagwell, not knocking them. Virgil, not knocking them. All those other individuals that came within that group. Yeah, Eric Bischoff. I mean, but when you think of the NWO, you think of those three. They're the Mount Rushmore of the NWO. Everybody else is just interchangeable. And that's how, and that's the thing, yeah, you're part of NWO, but you're always interchangeable. Those three people were always constant.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Roland is saying again, you guys are right. I'm 35. I grew up on WCW and WWF. It was amazing. And that's not knock the new guys. I agree.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of talent still out there, but it's almost a completely different business when we were looking at still a house show, live event business. And now it's mostly, especially WWE, is a television product. And personally, I get heat for this, but in terms of television, I prefer to watch AEW because there's more wrestling now. Some of the other silliness notwithstanding, but WWE seems to be so focused on promos, 20-minute promos and talk, that it just loses me. And it wasn't even like that 20 years ago.
But see, the funny thing, 20 years ago, it's like it was a soap opera, man. When you believe, from the Ricky Morton, Ric Flair interview about, I'm with the big girls, you with the teeny weeny girls, and Ricky Morton just firing up on them, and they build up a story, and Dusty Rhodes, they saw him in the parking lot and they're filming him, and they take the bat and they stretch out his arm and he goes, yeah, make it count. Dusty said, yeah, you better make this count. And they broke his arm. You know what I mean? There was the meat behind those stories. There was not a lot of like a crazy promos like they do now. When they did interviews, man, it was these segments, and it was just short segments, but it was all about wrestling and getting revenge and working the storyline. And that's what it's missing. Everybody's sitting there talking, and I'm not a big fan of women wrestling besides Charlotte Flair. I mean, there's a few that is like, man, these people are talented. But when I watch certain female wrestlers, and I hate knocking them, it just doesn't do anything for me, besides certain individuals. And I'll watch those matches all day, every day. And I don't know. It's just wrestling today is just, it used to be a fraternity, and it was a secret organization like the Illuminati or the Freemasons. It was a secret. You didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. And now all these motherfuckers are just whining and insensitive, and he tried to sleep with me and all this shit. And that's why I don't give a fuck anymore, that when I go to shows, and I just don't care, because it's these young dudes, Oreo, who don't respect the business, who think they have to have everything handed to them. And just because, they're in the business, that they deserve to be in the business, that they didn't do anything to put a mark in this business, they think they deserve that. That's why I don't think he deserves a title shot. That's why I don't think he deserves to be in the ring with me. He's just enough, see, I'm just getting hot because I'm just talking about it, because all he needs to do is park my car and carry my bags and say, yes, sir, Mr. Medina, whatever you need, Mr. Medina. Do you want coffee or cream? You want cream in your coffee, Mr. Medina? That's his role in this business.
I think
And
he's renting space in your head, Kingpin.
no, there's
I
no
think, I
there's
think
no
you're
free.
ruminating on it. Do you have your title there too? Is it beside you
No,
as well?
it's right here. But the thing is that everybody's pumping the shit out of him, saying how great he is, but he don't believe he's great. That's the thing. You guys think he's great, but he sits on the toilet every day after a big meal, contemplating that what the fuck am I doing getting in the ring with the Kingpin? Everybody's gassing me up. And I'm the one that's going in the ring, not them. I'm the one that's going to be facing one-on-one with him. And that's the thing that you guys got to get through his head. That all you guys pumping up, putting air up his ass, trying to like say, hey, you're the greatest. And he's believing in why he's there. But he's the only one that's going to be in the ring besides the ref, that he's going to look around and go, where is everybody? Yeah, they're going to see you outside the ring. Like, you can do it, man. You're number one. But he's the one that's going to be bleeding out of his ass and finding out that I bit off more than I could chew. But anyway, back to what we're talking. Man, you got me hot, bro.
Yes. Back to the comparison there. Yeah. Before we leave that aspect of it, I would agree. I think the influx of so-called writers and movement away from the booker, people like Ole Anderson, Dusty Rhodes, Kevin Sullivan, all those individuals that had they were wrestling people. They understood psychology. I think the phase out of them has been very, very difficult. But again, it's a totally different business now. It's a television product, and that's the way it is. They're cutting back on house shows. Well, WWE is anyway, and even becoming more of they'll have the premium live events and then the weekly shows, but that's it. But to look at a final analysis between the two, you've said that you don't think that the Bloodline we won't be talking about. And by the way, the NWO still sells T-shirts. I understand quite a few of them.
Oh, yeah.
And other pieces of merch all these decades later. You don't think that they will have the same impact that the NWO did? Does that mean that overall you preferred the NWO to the Bloodline?
Oh yeah, I prefer NWO, all day, every day. You know what I mean? That's just something that's just for life, baby. That is the motto, for life, So it was, when they said it then, it's still valid today, and I just don't think that they will have a Bloodline T-shirt. It could happen, but I just don't see it. There's not, when I look at the shirts, I don't see like, man, I could rock that every day. It's just that's the thing. I just don't see it. It's just the same way with New Day. You're like, yeah, they got some cool shirts, but I don't see motherfuckers rocking it 15 years from now.
Mm-hmm. Well, we may get some. We may get some counter opinions to that. I know, especially the younger fans have put over that they think the Bloodline is the greatest thing ever in wrestling, and that's to be understandable. Maybe the NWO, when they were at their height, fans thought, the younger fans thought that they were better than the Horsemen. It's just the way these things go.
Yeah, absolutely.
But makes for an interesting discussion. Before we wrap up this edition, Kingpin, I wanted to ask you about your training process. I know you had surgery, and you're putting a lot of time into the conditioning. How's that going for you?
It's going great, man. Like I said, I'm my ankle's still not 100%, but it doesn't, and I'm putting it out there. Maybe he wants to go after that. That's maybe his ace in the hole. But I've been doing my cardio, not saying rehabbing it, but I'm not babying that injury. I'm just working hard, because I know this is a serious event. And I want to make an impact when I come back to Canada, and I want to give the fans what they paid for, and I want to give them what they deserve, and I want to give Oreo what he deserves. It's called the old-fashioned ass whooping. And I just think this is going to be one of the greatest shows. I mean, it's kicking the summer off right, man. It's like I know you guys don't celebrate it, but it's like the 4th of July, man. It's gonna be fireworks, man. It's gonna be like the Lex Express, bro. It's gonna be it's gonna be cross country nonstop action, and fans are just gonna be loving it. But
we have Canada Day, July 1st.
Okay, and that's like Independence Day for you guys. The
It's
same thing.
Dominion Day. Yep, we have
But it's the
fireworks.
same thing, fireworks and all the bullshit, hot
Yeah,
dogs and burgers and
yeah,
shit.
yeah. We
Yeah,
celebrate that
yeah.
same concept, the same spirit as your July 4th, our American friends.
So you guys celebrate. Okay, so the normal thing, you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, right? Because you don't.
Yes, we do.
But
Ahead of yours,
it's a
a
different
few
one, right?
weeks ahead of yours. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't want to say like, like England don't celebrate Thanksgiving, shit like that. But everybody thinks that Thanksgiving's big here, and you don't even realize that some countries don't celebrate that.
Mhm.
Besides
Mhm.
Christmas, and I don't even think fucking Halloween or something like that across the world.
I think Halloween may be ubiquitous across the world,
I
but
love Halloween.
definitely I will concur with you that this show is going to kick off the summer and the Great North Wrestling season, and so much to come. The announcements that are still pending. The card from top to bottom is going to give the fans their money's worth. You have your belt there. Do you want to show it one more time to the camera, just to have yet another time when you still had the belt on record that you could refer to later?
It's funny, bro. This belt right here is like 10 pounds of gold. This is a portion of Oreo's belly. This is heavy. This is when you put this on your shoulder. I don't know how you can lug that front load up every day. But that's why I don't put it on. That's why I don't want to carry it when I go to Canada, because it's freaking heavy, man. If they charge you by the pound at the airport by checking in your bags, I'll be broke. That's how much gold is on here. So I mean, it's beautiful. It's on my waist. It's gonna stay on my waist. I'm blessed. The only thing, Oreo, you could just take a look at and enjoy it. Because this is where it's gonna stay.
Did you ever think that after so many years you'd ever be putting it up again in the land that you first won it? And I will give you credit. You won that belt in
Fair and square.
Very convincing. You defeated some top talent to win that title. But did you ever think that you'd be defending it again after all these years?
Yeah, I mean, I felt that eventually it was going to come into fruition that I have to defend it eventually. I just didn't think it would be such a low grade talent. But I guess it's just in that movie Rocky 3 when Mickey was like, "You can't beat him, Rock." He goes, "Why? Why can't I beat him?" They were, I fought all these fighters. They were handpicked. They were fixed. That's all you feeding me. You feed me a hand-picked match so I could, to stay with the title until I face, I'm just getting ready. And this is a warm-up match until I face the real challenge. And, and I appreciate how, the company doing that for me, a little warm-up match, punching that belly, heavy back, uppercut, You know what this is?
Looks like a piece of your mic or your headset.
Negative. This is the size of Big Daddy Oreo's nipples. This is the thing. That's what I'm talking about. So get ready, man. Get ready, fans.
I think in addition to the fans, it's going to be a sellout at the curtain for sure. I'm definitely going to be watching that match with great interest, and I hope I don't have to say I told you so, but we'll see how that goes. Let's talk about our next show. We're still taking fan input for
absolutely,
and we're definitely open to that. But we're going to come back with another episode sooner than before. Given the I'm focusing here straight on out on June 29th in Napanee, and will not be out of the country per se. So if you have a suggestion, fans, please send it in, and we'll put that on the schedule.
All right. Well, hey, now that we're closing off the show, I just want to say one more thing. You can cut the show after I'm done or whatever, but I don't post a lot of things on Facebook because I'm just not that guy. I'm tired of going to Facebook jail for stupid shit. But but I just want to say May 14th was the day, basically 3 years ago, that New Jack passed away. And I just wanted to say, that he's always thought of. I appreciate everything he done. live your life to the fullest, because every day could be your last, and so for guys like Big Daddy Oreo, do live your day like it's your last, because eventually on June 28th it will be. But I hold the glass for Jack a shot, even though it's fake. I hold this drink up for Jack. I miss you, brother. And I'm always thinking about you. And that's all I have to say.
R.I.P. Jerome Young, and a true legend, and a man I think will get his due historically as the time comes. But fans, we're going to close it up for this edition of Shooting from the Hip. Again, if you have any input, please send it to us on social media. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Hannibal TV and like our videos, and we will catch you next time.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please help me out and like this video, then click the subscribe and get notifications buttons so you don't miss any of my latest shoot interviews.